So, you're thinking about moving over to Austin, Texas, specifically downtown. Well, perfect. That's exactly what I'm going to cover in today's video. I'm going to be showing you a couple different condos ranging from one under 500, one right around 700, and one just under 900,000. If this is your first time to my channel and you want to know everything there is to know about living in Austin, Texas, then make sure you subscribe, click the bell for notifications so you can be the first to know about the current Austin market. My name is Blake. I'm with the Living in Austin, Texas team. We get calls every single day from people just like you thinking about making the move down to Austin, and we absolutely love it. Whether you're moving in 9 days or 90 days, don't hesitate to give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email. All of our information is down below. We'd love to help you make a smooth move down to Austin. So where am I currently? Right now, I'm just south of downtown on the Auditorium Shores, right along Ladybird Lake, Town Lake, or the Colorado River, whichever one you really want to call it. So this is actually not an area I'm going to be showing you around. I'm going to be showing you everything north of the river, everything south of MLK, everything west of I-35, and everything east of North Lamar. And that is the true 78701 zip code. That's where all these high-rise buildings are behind me and this ever-changing skyline. And so that's really what I'm going to cover today. A lot of different areas can be grouped in as downtown, but this is the true, where the skyscrapers, the business district. This is what I'm going to be covering in today's video. Now, like I was saying about the skyline behind me, it's April 2023, beautiful day by the way. It is a skyline that's ever-changing. We've got 10 buildings under construction right now that are going to change this skyline. We have another 12 or so that are still in permitting process that won't be coming until 2025. You know, like I said, this is an ever-changing skyline. It's crazy. Just, you know, when I moved here 8 years ago, the skyline was a fraction of what it is now behind me. And now 8 years later, we've got, man, just buildings popping up left and right like you wouldn't believe it. Behind me, Ladybird Lake, Town Lake. And so you're gonna see a ton of people paddleboarding, kayaking here on the weekends. There's no motorized boats. You're gonna have to actually head out towards Lake Austin or Lake Travis to go on. I have some of those lake fun on, you know, some boats and whatnot, but we do have kayaks, paddle boards, you know, that kind of stuff. And so it gets real crowded here on Saturdays. Actually, we have, you know, Saturdays, Sundays, people meet up, they paddleboard, and they form this giant group that, you know, everyone's kind of drinking their White Claws and listening to music. And I mean, it can be like 100 people out there, if not more, just hanging out and enjoying their weekend. Now, one thing to mention, you are not allowed to swim over here. You're not allowed to swim in the lake. So if you are, I see a lot of people kind of in the water. You'll definitely be seen as not a local because one, it's illegal. Two, it's not a lake like Lake Travis or Lake Austin where you want to go swimming in there. It's dirty. Think about swimming in the Hudson River or the Chicago River. That's not something that you really want to be doing. So definitely do not swim. Head over to Barton Springs Pool right here. That's part of the Colorado River. It's a constant temperature of 68 degrees. And it's clean, it's awesome, it's been around for decades, and it's a sweet place. Definitely check out, or head over to the Barton Creek Greenbelt, or one of these other green belts. If there's water, it can dry up sometimes in the summertime. But like I said, swim over there, do not swim in Town Lake. Behind me, we've got the trails. So these trails start from Mopac, which is the #1 highway west of Austin, and they go all the way to Pleasant Valley on the east side. So the whole entire loop, I want to say it's about 15 miles. Don't quote me on that. I'm not out there running 15 miles on the trails. There's all these different loops around, and so they go east and west, and then it's on the south side of the river and the north side of the river. They have all these, you know, 3-mile loops, 5-mile loops, whatever you're into, and you can, you know, bike, run, walk, whatever really you're into. So that's really nice. That's right at your doorstep. You know, if you're living downtown, you can be on the trails in less than 5 minutes. They get packed after work. When people get off work, they go enjoy themselves. And then especially on Saturdays and Sundays, tons of running groups and people running with their dogs and whatnot. So it's a really active town, and it's really neat. With that being said, we're gonna jump into our first neighborhood over on the east side of downtown. This is gonna be over by East 6th Street. But with that being said, I'll show you that when we are right over there. We are in our first area of town. This is over in between 5th and 6th Street on the east side of Congress. So this is more of the east side of downtown. Behind me is our first building. This is Sabine on 5th. The condo inside is actually 1 bedroom, 1 bath, right around 950 square feet. It's right at $469,000. The price per square foot is right around $420-ish. This is really gonna be your cheapest 1 bedroom condo right in the heart of downtown. There's not a whole lot under 500. There are a couple different options though, but this is pretty much your bottom baseline. As you can see, it's a 2007 build. This one really hasn't been updated too much, but it's not really outdated too much. You know, there's a couple different things you could do if you really wanted to, but it looks perfect to me. And like I said, what's nice is that this is right on Waller Creek. And so Waller Creek honestly hasn't been that nice these past few years. However, they are redeveloping Waller Creek all the way to Waterloo Park, which is up on around 13th, 14th Street. They're gonna start the redevelopment process down at Cesar Chavez, which is essentially like your first street. So we're up a couple blocks from there. And what's nice is that they're gonna redo it down there, and then in a couple years, they're gonna start redoing it all up through 5th through 7th Street. So that is here to come, which is gonna be really nice. It has a lot of potential is what I'm trying to say, like the San Antonio Riverwalk, if you're familiar with that. And then what's nice about this place is that you are right on 6th Street. So this 6th Street is pretty much gonna be the main drag in terms of nightlife in this part of town. There's a ton of bars. Now over here on this side of East Austin, this side of downtown Austin, this is what you call Dirty 6th Street. And Dirty 6th Street really makes up from Congress all the way to Sabine, really. You know, maybe a block over. Red River is really where it's gonna end. But Dirty 6th Street is what you kind of imagine it to be. It's, you know, more hole-in-the-wall bars. It's kind of gone down a little bit, I would say, these past couple of years. It can be a little grimy at times. Unlike West 6th Street, which is the other side of Congress, over there you're gonna have more nightclubs and a little higher-end clubs over there than over on Dirty 6th Street, but there's still a ton of live bands. Joe Rogan actually just opened up a comedy club right there. So there's a lot of change. And then there's gonna be a lot of redevelopment happening along East 6th Street, Dirty 6th Street. So, you know, I think in the next couple of years, it's gonna look a whole lot different than what it currently is. With that being said, let's jump down over to the Rainey Street Historic District. Okay, we are in our second neighborhood. We are over here in the Rainey Street Historic District. This is East Avenue. It's the next block over from Rainey Street. And behind us is our first building. This next building is a brand new 2022 build. The condo inside that we're looking at today is a 1 bedroom, 1 bath, just under 700 square feet. And it's listed for $640,000, making the price per square foot right at $929 a square foot. So it is more expensive over here. There's a lot of growth happening. In fact, the building next door is brand new as well. That's more condos. That's gonna be 48 East, another brand new building built last year. But behind us, the Nativo. This is the building we're talking about today. And what's really cool about the Nativo is that got some honkers over here. What's really cool about the Nativo is that they allow short-term rentals. So this is really unusual. This is the only condo building downtown that allows this. So say you want to buy a condo here for investment, well, you can actually put it up on Airbnb and it can be like your own little hotel. You do have to pay a hotel tax to be a part of that, but it's nice. So, you know, if you're only here 6 months of the year and then you want to rent it out the next 6 months on a short-term rental stay, that is really unique. Or else most buildings, they don't allow anything less than, give or take, 6 months-ish. Bare minimum is usually what they require. Another interesting thing is that they have valet service only. So you actually don't go and park your car in the garage. The valet does it for you, which can be seen as good and bad. You know, you never have to go park your car. You can always call ahead and your car will be ready for you down below. But it's just another interesting thing. Now let's take a walk down Rainey Street and give you a little backstory on what Rainey Street really is and what it's turned into be. So right now on Rainey Street, we've got, I want to say, 7 or 8 buildings under construction, including one of the tallest towers in Texas. Now, what's cool is that Rainey Street didn't used to be like this. This used to be all bungalow style residential homes. And in the early 2000s, the homeowners decided to change their zoning from residential to commercial use. And so a lot of homeowners actually sold out. The last one, in fact, just sold his property just a couple months ago. He was the last one out of the bunch. What essentially happened, this street was going to be turned into skyscrapers like it is today, but this was back in the early 2000s, right around 2008, and the financial crash happened, the housing market crashed, and all these developers just decided to turn these bungalows into these bars. So it's become really a bar street, similar to 6th Street, but there's a lot more day drinking out here. You know, the party still lasts till 2 in the morning over here. It is definitely a popular spot on the weekends to go day drinking and whatnot. But essentially, these past couple of years, a lot of these buildings or a lot of these bungalows have been turned into skyscrapers. So it is kind of weird. You'll see, you know, a bungalow and then you'll see a skyscraper, and you know, a lot of these bungalows and these bars are going away from this area. However, there are a lot of developers building these buildings and they're putting bars in the bottoms of these buildings. So, you know, not all the bungalows gonna stay, but they are keeping a lot of them as well. And then they are gonna be implementing bars in the bottom of these buildings. So it is very cool. And then another great thing is we're right along the trail right here. So if you're, you know, wanna get off work, you can come down. The lake is right behind me. You can jump on one of these trails and go for a walk, go for a run, whatever you're interested, go for a bike ride. So that is really nice that you have the lake right here. And then not only do they have, you know, of course, there's a huge bar scene over here. It can get real crowded on the weekends, but they do have local Royal Blue Grocery, which is a higher end grocery store. They've got a couple different restaurants, some food trucks. So, you know, if you're living over here, you can pop right down to the bars if you want, or you can pop over and grab some food and go right back upstairs to enjoy. One thing to mention, the negative, is construction. Like I said, there's about 8 or so buildings under construction, and they're all within, you know, a block or 2 of one another. So it does get quite crowded, and it's gonna be like this for the next couple years. So Rainey Street is only a 2-lane road, and it can get backed up, especially on the weekends when you factor in all the Ubers dropping off people going to the bars, and you've got all the pedicab waiting to pick people up and people riding bird scooters. It can get pretty hairy down here on the weekends and the after hours. So one thing I would say is, you know, try to avoid driving down here at night. It's better just to scooter over or walk over or whatnot. With that being said, I'm gonna show you a couple different bars, and we're gonna head over to the west side of downtown and show you our last condo. Okay, so we are in our final condo. We are in the west side of downtown. We're at the corner of Nueces and West 3rd Street. Behind me is our final building. This is 360 condominiums. It was built in 2008. The condo that we're looking at specifically is 2 bedrooms, 2 baths, right around 1,200 square feet. It's just under $900K, making the price per square foot right around $730. So this one is a little, I don't think they've done much upgrades from when they've purchased it, but throughout the building, some owners have done upgrades, some owners haven't. But what's really nice is that this area of town, there are a ton of restaurants that are super walkable. Republic Square is this park that they have a farmer's market at every Saturday or Sunday. I can't think off the top of my head. They're actually redoing it over there too. But there's a lot of growth going on over here. We've got this former railroad track that's turned into a kind of walkway. And then we've got the creek down here that has been redone. And the Austin Public Library is right here as well. It's huge. It's got all these super cool staircases. And then right below 360 condominiums, we have Polvo's, which is a great restaurant. Got really good Mexican food. And then since we're on 3rd Street, we're only 3 blocks up from West 6th Street. So that is real nice if you are looking to go out and have some fun at some of the bars. You are super, super close. And that pretty much it. I mean, so us being at 3rd Street, we can go 3 blocks down towards Ladybird Lake and, like I said, go on the trail. So there's just a whole lot to do over here. And yeah, yet again, that pretty much wraps up today's video. I'm thinking if I missed anything over here. For school-wise, all the schools over here are gonna feed into Austin High, which is right along Ladybird Lake, about a mile or 2 down. It's a pretty good high school. Chances are, if you are looking at living downtown, you probably don't have any kids. With that being said, I really want to say that wraps up today's video. I'm hoping you guys got a good idea of what downtown has to offer. We didn't cover everywhere, but we covered, I felt, East, West, Rainey Street. Felt like we did a good mix. So let me know in the comments below if you guys want to see anything else. If not, make sure to give me a like, subscribe, and tap the bell for notifications so you know when I post a video every single time. With that being said, I hope to see you here in Austin pretty soon. If not, we'll see you in the next video.